Hey, hello. So, having a thought, and I just put everything in perspective. So, I'm just gonna give you a piece of it. All right. So, we are looking at a system. Oh yeah, this is about that shit right there. But that stuff right there. But we're in a system, right? And then in this system that we're in, um, there is a way in which things work, and it's like the norm of how things go, how they work, how everybody operate. Okay, the people who set the norm for how everything operates is genetically different than us. People look like me. Um, so by default, the things that they're doing are against me because they're genetically different from me. So if they're doing something different, then it's something different. How I know, and this ain't gotta be from no book I ever read, right? Because one thing I understand is every book was written by a person. Every person has their pride, their ego, and their biases. Like me myself, and I'm not, what I'm saying, absent of this. I understand that I possess this characteristic as well. So I'm saying it from that point of view, that you can look at them and you can tell. Like, I worked with a guy and we stepped outside to a car, drove like a little bit from one car into a building, back into the car, back into another building. By the time we made it back into the building, he was red and burned and complaining about being burned. So for that in itself, I've never been burned. We used to go, when I was a little bitty girl, used to go to the beach all day long, like hot, back in the day, like hot summers, be at the beach from freaking 7 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. type shit. You know what I'm saying? In the weed, the house of the day. It never burned. Never. I might had a noticeable tan that you can see my bathing suit on my naked body, but other than that, I was good. Without sunscreen, without any of that. So, with my vision, I can see this difference, right? And then just how easy it is for us to come about becoming pregnant. That's the difference. Like, it just is. Like, I'm not being nothing. I'm just taking a look at my surroundings or whatever. So, but anyway, so if you look at like, okay, this is another example. All right, if your heart stops, right, and the ambulance come, and they do your CPR, they whatever they do to your chest, and then they put the little and bring, what I'm saying, and hit you with some electricity. So, based off that observation, you would say that we are electrical beings, right? That we electrical charge. So if your heart stops, if they hit you with some some electricity, electricity, your heart will start back to beating. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so let's get this right? A car has a battery, so it's different volts. But if a car battery dies, you hit it with the two charges, and you charge the battery up. It fire back up. Okay, but we all know. Well, we might not all know, but now you're gonna know because I'm gonna tell you. And you can try it yourself if you like. Put a battery on concrete. The concrete is going to drain the battery. So think about that. You are an electric being walking on concrete. So concrete is actually draining the energy and the life out of you. Okay. That in itself. So those are just examples of, what I'm saying, how I can see with my eyes that we are different biologically. Well, but yeah, but anyway, just to say about going against nature or whatever. So they built concrete, and we're not supposed to be walking on this concrete. Okay, all right. So So we know for a fact that too much time in nature, because the way in which we live, like, is outside of nature. Like houses and air conditioning and all that shit like that, going to the grocery store. Going to the grocery store and all that, that's really unnatural. You're really, really. And if you think about it, as they keep telling us about food, like the shortage of food, like all they have to do is plant trees, like plant the trees. Like when they cut down forests and they plant trees in your community, they literally could plant an apple tree, an orange tree, like some shit like that, so that you literally can walk down the street and everybody can eat, and it'll grow. It'll grow because just like the grass grows, it'll grow. But no, because because of capitalism. So we all are in this bubble of capitalism. So we're operating on the dollar, and they have billions of dollars and our islands and everywhere that's nice. That's where they live. Now you might catch you a speck throughout there. That's rare, but you might catch a speck. But for the most part, you know what side of town you're on when you go. This is not by fucking accident. There's no way. There's no way this could be an accident. As hardworking as we are, as considerate as we are, as generous as we are, there's no way that this could just be happening. Can't be. There's no way. I don't believe it. I mean, I don't know. Make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. It completely, it sounds mad, because I know for sure that whatever job you go on, they make more money than you going in the door. And it doesn't matter how much experience you have. It doesn't matter what education you have. They're going to make more money than you. If you don't believe me, well, that's just tough, because they tell you not to talk about how much money you make, because they don't want you to know how they're playing you. But you don't have to believe that. It's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So we'll roll with that. But anyway, what else? What else? It was something more I wanted to say, and then I lost it. But anyway, and then they'll tell you that they're all not the same, and they may not be. They may not be, but I won't talk about that. I'll let that go. But anyway, so basically, we're living unnatural. So if we were to live out really in nature, who does this situation really benefit? It benefits them. I'm gonna tell you why it benefits them. Because the most comfortable jobs where you sit and make the most money are in air conditioning. They're indoors. They're on your own time frame. Like it's just like so obvious. I don't know. It's just obvious. I don't know. I see it everywhere. But anyway, what else? Oh, yeah. So they needed this advantage. So we were doing our own thing. And so that's why, if you look at it, that's why the boycott bothered them. Like, as much as they say they don't need us, the boycott bothered them. It affected them, rather. It affected them because they needed us. So they hired Martin Luther King to convince us to come on and join forces with them. And while we're joining forces with them, while they have to eat it up to say we got to join with these people that we're less than, they beat our asses. And Martin Luther King told us not to fight back. Don't fight back. No. Just let them do to you what they want to do. So now they're over you. They're your managers. They are your, wherever you go, they are in charge. Like, there's no structure of this, no. You know this. And we all know this, right? Like, it's no secret. And it's like, at the same time, okay. But anyway, Martin Luther King, that whole little scam, setup, whatever. So he's the only nigga with a holiday. or the only, NIGGA, with a holiday. And he's the first name they mention when you get to talking anywhere outside of going with the flow and getting beat up on and getting treated any type of way. As long as you going with that flow, then it's fine. You're okay. But anyway, um, so they benefit. Yeah, so this whole situation benefit them. So you won't boycott it out now because we operate strictly under their dollar, under their system. We don't have nothing of our own. So that's out the door. We don't have any manufacturer. Like, we don't know anybody. Like, we're not connected to nothing to be able to branch outside of America. So now we're in their hands. So that's out the door. So that is what it is. But so you won't boycott it out. And then at the same time, if you think about what a boycott is you working, getting your money, and holding your money. Well, if you think about it, if you gave them the work, they don't give a fuck about it. So you're the one that's losing in the deal because the money was for you to go to the market to exchange for the work that you done. So if you don't go to the market and collect your goods, then you really cheated yourself, really. Because it's his system and he sets the price. So he can say a loaf of bread is $500 if he chooses to say that because he sets the price. This is his system. Okay, with that, the home money situation is completely out. All right, then if you say we're going to look at the Constitution, well, the Constitution has so much legal language and language that's not for us to understand, for you to not see as clear as day, because they taught us in school, so they didn't teach you how to understand it. Really, they taught you words and how to talk to us, you know what I'm saying? But it's a different language that they use, so all through the language, they segregated everything out. And that just is the way it is. Like, and it's like, you get pulled in with the softness of you because they know you. They know you better than you know yourself. So they know how to get over on you. They know what strings to pull and what this, that to do. And we just fall in it. Hook, line, and sinker. That's what they say, yeah. But we just go for it because we don't want to be treated like, we don't want to treat other people how we were treated, but we don't mind treating each other like that, I guess, because we feel like we used to it. So you don't mind because you're used to it type shit. I don't know. But one thing I do know is either, I do know the only way out is to completely let it the fuck go. Is either that or just accept it for what it is and keep moving this forward, going. But if we get too far, and if we get to the point where they got cameras on there's nothing you can do at that point. What can you do? This is just my thoughts.